You're staring at a bank statement showing negative $47,000. The phone won't stop ringing with debt collectors. You're in a cramped apartment. The lights flicker because your utilities are 3 weeks overdue. 3 credit cards, all maxed out. A payday loan due in 72 hours at 400% interest. You open your laptop. You type, "How to make money fast." No questions asked. This is where your journey into the financial underworld begins. And by the end, you'll control more money than most countries. This is your life at every level of the financial underworld. Level 1, the desperate debtor. You wake up to another overdraft notification. Negative $63. Again, rent is $200 short this month. You've already sold everything worth selling. Your car has a boot on it. The eviction notice is taped to your door. A text message lights up your phone. $500 cash today. No credit check. Approval in 10 minutes. You know it's predatory. You know the interest rate will bury you deeper. But desperation doesn't do math. It just survives. You click the link. Approved. The money hits your account in 8 minutes. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Average credit card debt per household is over $6,000. The payday loan industry is worth $9 billion annually in the United States alone. You're not a failure. You're a revenue stream. The system is designed to keep you exactly where you are. Drowning. Desperate. Dependent. But you're about to find another way out. The loan shark who just approved you has no idea you're about to become his competition. Level 2. The small-time hustler. You discover online forums. They call it travel hacking. Opening credit cards for sign-up bonuses. Technically legal. You make $2,000 a month just churning cards. It feels like beating the system. Then someone sends you a DM. You're leaving money on the table. I can show you advanced methods. The methods aren't legal. Fake utility bills to verify addresses. Age trade lines purchased for $300 each. You start opening credit cards under slightly altered identities. Different middle initials. Apartment numbers that don't exist. 12 credit cards in 3 months. Your first illegal profit. $15,000. Synthetic identity fraud costs lenders $6 billion in 2021. You're not alone. You're part of an invisible economy. The money feels victimless. It's just corporations losing pennies, right? They screw everyone anyway. You're just evening the score. That's what you tell yourself. You promise yourself you'll stop at $50,000. That promise lasts exactly 3 weeks. Level 3, the money mule. A business opportunity appears in your email. Remote payment processor needed. Work from home. Process international transactions. Keep 10%. It sounds too good to be true. It is. But you apply anyway. Within a week, you're receiving wire transfers. $15,000, $32,000, $78,000. You keep 10%, send 90% to suppliers overseas. You process $850,000 in 3 months. Your cut, $85,000. You don't ask questions. You don't want the answers. The money is from ransomware attacks, romance scams, business email compromises, victims who thought they were paying invoices, or talking to someone who loved them. Money mules move $3 billion in illicit funds annually in the U.S. alone. The average mule gets caught within 6 to 9 months. They face 5 to 10 years in federal prison. You know something's wrong. The guilt whispers at 3 a.m., but the money is louder than your conscience. You've crossed a line you can't uncross. The FBI is already building your file, but someone bigger notices you first. Level 4, the boiler room operator. You're recruited to an investment firm. Luxury office, floor-to-ceiling windows. Everyone's wearing suits that cost more than your old car. Day 1, they hand you a script and a list of qualified leads. Elderly retirees. You're taught the straight line system. High-pressure sales psychology developed by Jordan Belfort. Control the conversation. Overcome objections. Close at all costs. You're selling penny stocks. Pump and dump schemes. Worthless companies with fabricated revenue projections. Your first month, $60,000 in commissions. You hear them on the phone sometimes. The victims. A 73-year-old woman crying as she authorizes the wire transfer. Her entire retirement. Gone. Your manager overhears. They're adults, he says. They made a choice. Boiler room scams originated in the 1990s with firms like Stratton Oakmont. Modern versions operate from Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, luxury offices in Miami. The average victim loses $25,000 to $75,000. You've stolen your first million from people who can't afford to lose it. You tell yourself you're just doing your job, but you stop looking at their names. You become what you once feared, but the real power is still 10 levels above you. Level 5, the offshore architect. A lawyer contacts you. We help successful people protect their assets. You fly to the Cayman Islands for a consultation. Private jet, beachfront office. Within a week, you have 7 shell companies across 4 jurisdictions. You layer money through fake consulting fees, intellectual property licensing, phantom loan agreements. Money disappears in the Caymans, reappears in Delaware, vanishes again in Luxembourg. The Panama Papers expose 214,000 offshore entities. The Cayman Islands alone holds $1.4 trillion in foreign deposits. You can create a shell company in Delaware for $90 with zero disclosure requirements. Offshore tax evasion costs governments $427 billion annually. Your clients now include corrupt politicians, cartel accountants, oligarchs evading sanctions. Your fee, 5% of money moved. This year, that's $8.7 million. You've gone fully legal in your own mind. You tell yourself this is just wealth management, financial optimization. Every billionaire does it. Then your biggest client sends a suitcase full of cash. You're moving money for a governor who embezzled hurricane relief funds. Disaster aid meant for families who lost everything. You don't ask questions anymore. You just count. Level 6, the hedge fund shark. You launch your own hedge fund. $40 million in assets under management. The money comes from questionable sources, but no one asks. You hire researchers. Their real job is gathering insider information. They work expert network firms. Legal gray zones. A pharmaceutical executive tells you about failed FDA trials 48 hours before the public announcement. You short the stock. It crashes 37%. You make $12 million in 2 days. Then you start targeting struggling companies. You publish research reports exposing their weaknesses. Stock price collapses. You profit on the way down. Insider trading SEC enforcement actions happen 50 to 60 times annually. The largest case was Raj Rajaratnam, $63.8 million in illegal profit. One of your short positions just bankrupted a manufacturing company. 600 employees laid off. Pensions evaporated. You made $12 million. You receive a letter from a laid-off factory worker. His pension is gone. His daughter's college fund, gone. The math says you won. Does that make you a winner? You've stopped thinking about questions like that. Markets should be efficient. You tell yourself. You're just providing price discovery. But late at night, you know the truth. You become a predator. Level 7, the Ponzi architect. You create an exclusive investment fund. Minimum entry, $500,000. You promise 12% annual returns through algorithmic trading, proprietary strategies, quantitative models. There is no algorithm. You pay old investors with new investor money. Classic Ponzi structure, 10 to 1 ratio. For every dollar you pay out, you need 10 new dollars coming in. Bernie Madoff ran his scheme for 17 years, $64.8 billion. Charles Ponzi promised 50% returns in 45 days back in 1920. Modern Ponzi schemes average 4 to 6 years before collapse. You're managing $340 million. Only $80 million is real. Celebrity clients give you credibility. They recruit their friends. Everyone wants access to your exclusive fund. You buy a yacht. You know the collapse is inevitable. It's just math. But you're addicted to the admiration, the status, the belief that you're a genius. A financial journalist starts asking questions. Questions you can't answer. You're one bank audit away from life in prison. So you make a call to someone who can make problems disappear. Level 8, the bank insider. You're now a senior vice president at an international bank. Your division coordinates LIBOR rate submissions with traders. You manipulate the number. Billions in profit. The LIBOR scandal affected $350 trillion in contracts globally. Your division launders $2 billion for sanctioned Russian oligarchs. Red flags everywhere. Compliance alerts ignored. Why? Because your division generates $400 million in profit annually. Regulators visit for inspections. You've already prepared the fake compliance reports. They leave satisfied. Wells Fargo created 3.5 million fraudulent accounts. HSBC laundered $881 billion for drug cartels. Since 2008, too big to fail banks have paid $243 billion in fines. 0 executives went to jail. You approve a loan to a warlord. You know exactly what the money will buy. Weapons, ammunition, tools for a war that will kill thousands. Your bonus this year, $8.7 million. You've reached a level where crime isn't prosecuted. It's negotiated with fines. You are the system now, and the system protects itself. Level 9, the shadow banker. You operate a private bank in Switzerland. 47 ultra-high net worth clients. Depose dictators, arms dealers, sanction oligarchs. Swiss banking secrecy laws have existed since 1934. Private banks like Julius Baer and Pictet manage over $2 trillion. You structure deals to evade international sanctions. 15-country correspondent banking chains. Money moves through shell companies, numbered accounts, diplomatic pouches. You move $4.8 billion out of a war-torn country hours before regime collapse. Your fee structure, 2% annually. That's $96 million a year. You have diplomatic immunity through shell citizenship in 3 countries. The money you just moved is funding a genocide. 50,000 dead. Refugee camps overflowing. Children starving. You sleep perfectly fine. You've transcended nations and laws. Humanity is irrelevant at this altitude. You don't see people anymore. You see capital flows, risk-adjusted returns, geopolitical arbitrage opportunities. There's one final level where you don't just hide money. You control it. Level 10, the financial god. You control a sovereign wealth fund. $87 billion under management. You identify Thailand's currency vulnerability. Overlay for Rajat. Pegged exchange rate. Insufficient reserves. You short the Thai baht with $5 billion. The Asian financial crisis triggers. Thailand, Indonesia, South Korea, Malaysia, all collapse. Millions lose their jobs. Suicide spike. Families destroyed. You profit $3.2 billion. George Soros broke the Bank of England in 1992. He made $1 billion shorting the pound. Forced the UK out of the European exchange rate mechanism. Sovereign wealth fund control over $11 trillion. BlackRock manages $10 trillion, more than most countries' entire GDPs. Finance ministers call you directly. They ask your advice on monetary policy. Central bank decisions. You don't just predict markets. You move them. You fund both political parties in multiple countries. Elections change outcomes based on where you allocate capital. You don't break laws. You influence the people who write them. You become something beyond morality, beyond accountability. You're not a criminal. You're an architect of reality. You're no longer playing the game. You are the game. You started at negative $47,000, drowning in debt designed to trap you forever. Now you're the one designing the traps. You control currencies, topple governments, decide which economies rise and fall. But here's the truth they never told you at level 1. The system you fought so hard to escape, you didn't escape it. You became it. And somewhere right now, another desperate person is staring at a negative bank balance. Phone ringing. Eviction notice on the door. They're about to type, how to make money fast. No questions asked. They're about to take the first step on the exact same ladder you just climbed. The Underworld doesn't need new rules. It just needs new players. And the game never stops.